All right, we back, y'all. My brother Dain gonna tap back in just a minute. I didn't realize that that hour goes real fast, real fast. It goes real fast. That hour goes fast, yo. I didn't even realize that hour goes that fast, though. That is crazy. We're gonna get what we're gonna do this time that we get when we get Dane back up. I'm just gonna I'm gonna ask him a couple of questions, and I'm gonna take a lot of questions from everybody else too. Like once we get everybody back in. Oh yeah, Dane's back in now. Ke, what's good, my guy? Dane coming back on. Oh, it's connected now. Yep. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, man, that hour fly by, yo. I didn't even realize that until it came up. It started coming up and telling me that it was going on. But people were enjoying it too, so a lot of them tapping back in right now.
Oh nah, it's whatever, bro. I
Yeah,
ain't
they tapping back in right now. I'm gonna let them tap. I'm gonna let some more folks tap in. Some of my parents tapped in, and some of my some players that tapped in. Some more coaches from the org tapped in. Nah, it's definitely good basketball talk. That's what my dude was saying. Oh yeah, definitely. Q, is that you on BWSL Dream Chasers? Is that you, Q? I be having to know. So yeah, but no, dang, that joint it's real good though. So I'm gonna give people coming back now, so they'll hear me one of my questions, and then they could jump in and ask questions. So like a lot of stuff that you do, dog, like that I knew that you do. Who you think's the best kid that you so far that you evaluated? You could go back. Just go back about 10 years. Don't even go back that far. Go back the last 10 years. Who you think you're the best kid that you? He doesn't even have to be the best pro. Just the best high school player at that time that you thought was like, this is crazy. That you thought it might was going to be a guy, or or ended up being a guy.
nah. Most of them are on par. Frank Jackson
Mm.
from Utah.
Utah, yeah.
I look back at his report. Devin Booker.
Woo.
Devin. The relationship with that came from his dad. He played overseas with some cats that I knew from New York, and
Mm-hmm.
Dev wasn't, highly spoken about. Dev wasn't the guy, and he turned out to be something. But I mean, right now, Amani Bates is
Woo.
that kid is special lane. That ain't enough.
Right.
His abilities and what that kid can do with basketball, like it's like he's been here before.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
Word.
He's been here before.
Yeah, he might basis, dog. Like so, this year in Dallas, I lost the game. But if I would have won my pool, I lost my pool. I was going to play them the next game outside of the pool, yo. And I wanted to play him. I wanted to play him because I watched him play, and I'm telling my dude I coach with him, I'm like, yo, he is for real. Like, I don't know what everybody talking about. I was like, he's 15 years old, yo. He's for
Come on.
real.
And then it's funny because you know what? Bringing it full circle. You know when the first time I seen him play?
Where?
Abu.
Abu.
Abu played against Jalen Dunn. They played on the side where the track is at. I don't know how y'all separate the
Oh yeah,
sides.
that's the green. We just call it green side. That's the green
Yeah.
side. Court one.
And yo, it wasn't even 12 people at their game.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Both them dudes gonna be future lottery picks. God willing, wasn't 12 people at their game.
More than I believe it, cause we lost to Bradley Bill Elite, and Bradley Bill Elite had a couple of they had a lot of people come see them play. Like I was talking to my assistant coach, I was like, yo man, they got Jahadi White in here, Jason Tatum has stepped in, and I'm like, they don't need no more help. You know what I'm saying? Getting excited to play us.
Right.
My dude that played with Chuck was there. I can't think of his name right now for nothing from the Lou. Played with the Sixers.
Larry Hughes.
Larry Hughes. I talked to him before the game and all that. We got a play called Iverson. He was laughing about it. You know what I'm saying? So then I watched them play Bates in Dallas. Bradley Bill Elite, and that was a great game. I think Bradley Bill Elite beat them, but yeah, he's something special, yo. Like,
yeah, no. His ability is on another level.
It's crazy. Like, people are talking like he's just a hype machine. He this and that.
Nah.
I'm like, nah, you don't.
Nah. Like,
He's
what he
real.
does translates, to high level. Like, his ability, his know-how. Like, bro, they got a video where he hit like 60-some shots in a row.
Word. I saw that.
You're not finding no kids that's doing that. You're not finding no 16-year-old kids doing that.
Nah, I saw that video myself too. Yeah.
Like, he's locked into being great.
Mm-hmm. So you think with your business, right? With your scouting service, your guys, your clients, because like I said, I'm glad that you pointed that out too, that your clients are college coaches or college universities, you know, and you don't deal with parents directly like that. You give advice, like you said, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So how much do they rely on that on your services? Since I'm sure it's probably a lot since they really deal with you.
Well, I mean, they pay me.
Right.
So I mean, at the end of the day, you'll be a fool if I'm giving you the information. You'd be a fool to ignore it.
Right.
Am I in there to tell them, don't take Mark Williams, take Efton Reed, or to take a Roosevelt Wheeler? I don't do that, but I just supply them with all the proper information, and let them decide. Now, some schools I have a closer bond with, and it varies around the country. I got family that, one of my brother's teammates, my brother doesn't even play anymore, but, one of his guards, he coaches at Connecticut. I'm here in Houston, so I have an extra special close relationship with not just Shaka, but also the University of Houston staff. So different schools that have different relationships, but it all remains consistent with every school that I have, that I remain professional at all times. It's nothing personal, and just to clarify, why I don't have any parents, it's rather simple. If you had a child that came through the circuit, you're only going to come through for about 3 years.
Right.
Whereas if you're a college coach, once you get past about 6 years in the college coaching world, you're a lifer. You're more than likely going to be in coaching forever.
Definitely.
So I'd rather deal with that relationship of someone who they may bounce from job to job, but they're in this industry.
So
and they know I'm going to help them get in the space of doing a proper job.
So like you said, you scout the EYBL. You do some other things too. You major events, like I seen you at a lot of different places. I see your social media at a lot of different places. So, like, from your standpoint, you know what I mean? Do you think it is an advantage playing Nike or playing EYBL?
Well, I mean, if you want to play against the best players in the world at the grassroots level, you're going to play in the EYBL. It's not even a conversation piece. Now, does that mean other platforms don't put out players? That's not what I'm saying. However, if you want to play against the best players, you're gonna play in the EYBL. You're gonna test yourself against an Amani Bates. You're gonna test yourself against a Jalen Durham, Keontae George, different guys like that. Because I mean, when you look at the league, like I think our product from the EYBL, it helps get you ready for college, which in reference from there gets you ready for the NBA. So when you look at many of the young stars, and again, they may sign with other brands because it's still business. Shoe deals, but many of the young pros that are having great starts to their career, a lot of that was seen on the EYBL. Whether it's Trae Young, whether it's Ben Simmons, whether it's Jason Tatum, whether it's Bradley Beal, Devin Booker. I mean, DeAndre Ayton. I can go on and on and on and on. Like, I think the resume of players that we've had on our platform is second to none, and it's a huge gap. It's a huge gap.
Yeah, because I remember when Devin Booker was playing with Alabama Challenge, and he was kind of I guess he was under the radar, but I'm like, yo, he's shooting from half court, though. Like, how is he under radar? I was watching him on like court 7 at the Sportsplex, and the guy went Alabama Fusion. I think he was with them back then too.
Yeah, he was with the Challenge.
Yeah,
My man Robert Shannon.
Oh yeah, he's a good dude. I spoke to him a lot. We
Great
played
dude.
him in Dallas. He's a real good dude. I really rock with him. But yo, so I spoke to him that in at Boo. We were just talking about it. He told me who he was and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, how is he? But he ended up going to Kentucky, so you know it must have picked up for him. But in there, people were acting like he was like under the radar type of guy. And I'm like, it's
Well,
no.
when you go back and look
Mm-hmm.
for various reasons, and people have their reasonings, their opinions, and some have their biases.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he didn't match people's agendas.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's probably the best way I could put it. Like
I mean,
he didn't get in line with those what they expected from others, which
mm-hmm.
is fine. Because
Mm-hmm.
now, as we look back, we can only smile and say, "Wow, like he stayed the course, he did what he had to do, and he achieved what he achieved."
Mm-hmm. Now another thing, Dain, I know that you do. I don't know if you could touch on it a tad bit for us with the I know you kind of invested into the top 100
Mm-hmm.
NBA Player Association camp in Charlottesville.
Mm-hmm.
So how what are you guys looking? What are you like guys that want to have aspirations of getting to that level or being able to be selected for such like a prestigious camp like that? That takes
Well,
kids from everywhere.
well, I was honored, and I think about it because a couple of people hopped on the feed. Like I've been blessed to just have great teachers
Mm-hmm.
and great mentors in the game of basketball. Starting with Vincent Smith, Artie Cox, Pierre Turner, Kenny Smith, Kenny Anderson, Kamani, Young. I mean, Leslie Lance. The list goes on and on.
Shit with him with Kamani. He's a good guy, real good guy.
Right. But moving it forward, even later in life, while those guys, some still in New York and some live elsewhere, like I've been fortunate to have a mentor like John Lucas. And
Mm-hmm.
John saw something in me that he said was refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
He saw the eagerness and my drive to be great in this industry, and he
Mm-hmm.
too saw that it was a void. And John, anytime anyone, if you ever around John Lucas, whether it's his private workouts, NBA camp, like John is a doer. He's not you don't want to hear your sales pitch. He
Mm-hmm.
want to see you do it. And I think he respected the fact that I got on the road on my own and I carved a niche for myself. And he reached out to me,
Mm-hmm.
and because he spends a great time with the Rockets as well. And he's getting up in age. He needed someone, pretty much to beat the road up. And that was my job, and I do that throughout the course of the year,
Mm-hmm.
going to different kids and different, sides of the coast, whether it's the East Coast or the West Coast, and finding talent. The best way for someone to put themselves in a position, the first question they have to ask themselves is this: are they one of the top 20 players at their position,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of class?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, give me a rising junior for Boo in the Boo Williams program.
A rising junior, Aminu Muhammad.
No, he's a rising senior.
Oh, he's a rising junior. Who's a rising junior? Let me see. I mean, we got a whole bunch of them. A Kanye Clary.
Okay, Kanye Clary.
Mm-hmm.
They said some crazy feedback. I don't know. It might be on my end again.
Let me make. I don't have no TV up. Is it still bad?
Nah, I don't think it's you. It might be me because I'll be hearing. Can you hear me now? Okay. Shout out to my man LeVar, my man Dion. My man, can y'all hear us now? Who said it? True Soldier 718. Is that clear?
Give me a thumbs up.
Yeah, New York Lightning. Okay, it's better. My man. So the gentleman that you mentioned, he has to ask himself, did he have a summer, which he didn't have, spring that he didn't have? She said, we got the Teddy. Coach, that's not funny, man. Shout out to Teddy Riley. We don't have the Teddy Riley equipment. But you know what? Everybody who laughs at Teddy Riley be having technical difficulty now. But that's another conversation. But no, the gentleman you're talking about, the first thing he has to ask himself is, did he have a strong spring and summer? So unfortunately to him, he didn't have a spring or summer. Hopefully he can probably get some type of summer at the end, but it is what it is. But But now fast forward into his upcoming junior year in Virginia, what kind of year does he have? Does he have an explosive year where, like I remember being at Hampton and watching Cliff Hawkins pretty much dismantle your man Curry. What's his name? Oh man,
Curry. That's my guy.
That played at North Carolina. Ronald Curry. That's right. Like Cliff got a hold of him in that state tournament, and to Cliff's credit though, it catapulted him to Kentucky. So the young fellas that you may have, like the question has to be asked, like, what are you doing? Like, stop telling, look at me, just put the work in, and someone is going to see you. Someone is going to acknowledge your ability. And then when it comes across my radar, whether it's next spring or through the course of the high school season, because as you know, I come back to the Virginia, D.C. area every year for the WCAC, or whether Keith Stevens has his event during Christmas, all of those things. Like, if someone is good in that Tidewater area and they're really, really good, trust and believe, whether it's people from the North Carolina area with Chick-fil-A, whether it's Keith Stevens with his event, they're going to make sure that they're up at that event. Had Mark Williams not left for IMG, he stayed where he was, Mark would have been on a senior tour going everywhere because Mark Williams needed to be there. So with that being said, if you're not top 20 at your position, you really have to almost humbly say, yo, I got to keep working. Now, here's another point, too. Just because you go up against a kid who may be arguably top 5 or whatever it is in his class, and you may outplay him, that doesn't automatically put you in that conversation. That just means you outplayed him. So if me and you going head-to-head, Rod, and you're a top 10 player, and I'm unknown, just because I outplay you, that does not necessarily mean I'm better than you. I was better than you that day. Now, if we get to a scenario where I'm consistently busting your ass, then that's a different story. And then you know what? He might be better than Rod. But if I get the best of you one time, it happens. It happens. You know what I'm saying? So it is one of those things where you can't put all your eggs in hoping to see somebody ranked, outplaying them, and then I want my pride. It don't work like that. Again, that's the microwave era we spoke about on the last feed with that. No, it's not that. You have to do a little bit more than that.
But that's the thing that you put that. So but it may help it. Probably gonna help it. You know what I mean? But you got to keep doing it. A lot of guys local here. Whoever you take,
Yeah, Rod, we can't hear you.
oh, can y'all hear me now? I
Can't
lifted
hear
my
you now.
phone. Okay, good. Yeah, so no, you're right about that though, because sometimes down here in this part of Virginia, it's it's tough. These schools down here don't get that same event, those type of events here. So you definitely gotta. They said restart your live. He said my audio's going in and out. Y'all can't hear me at all.
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Is it still bad?
And the feed might be behind. My man LeVar said the sound.
Oh, they said good now. Coach said good now.
Good now. Yeah, she getting on us up there in Minnesota. That's why it's still snowing up there. You up there with
Word.
I hope you under 8
Yeah,
feet of snow.
Meet you right. We got to build that from here because I need to get guys like Dain out here. Back in the day, we had some good events. When we had a couple of good teams. I remember when I was at Kickerton High School, we played Montrose, we played Oak Hill. You know what I'm saying? Coach Thomas had a lot of plugs, and we had some good players on that team. A kid with the Providence, 2 kids with the Providence, and then one of them in that Colorado. So it was some pretty good kids on that team there.
You know what's crazy, and I've never leaned on Boo or you about this, but even though I left there, I can honestly say it was a great experience, and I think people need to. While I know people want to get away, people got to start looking at the Hampton option a little bit.
Oh no, we do. We mess with Buck.
I think Buck has done a phenomenal job with what he's done over there, even in the transition out of the MEAC. I think he has a relatable staff. I think Jamal Robinson is an underrated skill developer. He's just business. I mean, he just finished his second year.
Mm-hmm.
But
Second, I
I
think it's
think
his second year. I'm
his
not
second
sure.
year, right?
Yeah, I think it's his second year.
I think they can get a lot of things rolling. Now, I get it though. I get when you're from a place, you don't
Mm-hmm.
want to be there. I mean,
Yeah.
I had the option when I even came out of junior college that I could have went back home to Manhattan. I didn't want to go
Yeah.
home. So part of me, I get that. But I think, again, in the time that we're in and building up our own and taking care of our own, I think we have to start looking at, you know, brothers
Mm-hmm.
like Buck. Like now he's not
Word.
getting the MEAC knock. He's not getting, it's the MEAC. Like, nah, like he's in a whole nother conference. He's in the
Yeah.
Big South, if I'm not mistaken. And I was so pulling for him this year to get to the dance. I mean, they felt to
Word.
go through. But I remember watching that game vividly, and I'm like, damn, I wanted that for Buck badly. And it was a
Mm-hmm.
real talk. It felt like they was taking it away from him. But
Word.
it's I mean, the proximity is there,
Mm-hmm.
and I get it, because don't get me wrong, VCU, Virginia, not
Mm-hmm.
only is Virginia for lovers, but Virginia it has so many great options. But I think
Mm-hmm.
for us, like
Mm-hmm.
looking at what Buck has to offer, as well as, don't get me wrong, ODU and Coach Jones, because Coach Jones
Yeah.
is a New Yorker. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's love. Like, he's from Queens, so Coach Jones is a great man. You know what I'm saying? He's a great
Mm-hmm.
dude in what he does. I mean, if people only knew, like people again frown at HBCUs. Like I might be, I don't even might be. I know I am. I'm probably the only scouting service that, like, real talk. If you can prove that y'all don't have it,
Mm-hmm.
like I provide. I try to help them as much as I can, because it's not an even playing field. Like,
Right.
how is Norfolk State or Virginia State, any black college, so supposed to compete with a program who has a $60,000 budget for
Mm-hmm.
scouting services,
For scouting.
for scouting and hitting the road?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they can't compete with that. Like, that's not fair to them. So,
Yeah.
I try when I can help provide that type of insight to those guys, and,
Mm-hmm.
and just, again, making do. Because I'll be the first to tell anybody on this feed right now, if they know a young cat that he like being fly, he on to
Mm-hmm.
the chicks, he on to the shorties, he got the drip, or they need to look at a black college,
Yeah.
man. It's nothing wrong with the PWIs. For those that don't know, predominantly white institutions, great. They got the resources, cool. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're talking about not having the culture shock, if you're talking
Right.
about being able to see classrooms and size of classes that they're accustomed to,
Right.
and go to a black college, man.
You're right.
Like you will not be, I guarantee you, after 4 years, you will not be let down.
Mm-hmm.
You won't walk away from it on some, this shit was whack. Because from a hooping side, you're gonna play everybody.
Yeah, because they're gonna
Games.
take those games. They're gonna take those money games.
Exactly. And then if you good, you're gonna have chances to go to the tournament. So at the
Yeah.
end of the day, and again, I'm someone who left a HBCU that I can now look back in hindsight as 2020, be like, yo, real talk, maybe I probably should have stayed. I don't know. My life definitely would have been different, because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't come to Texas, but I probably still would have came to Texas. But just still, like, it would have went on a different trajectory. Do I think I
Yeah.
probably would have still been in scouting? Sure. Because this
Mm-hmm.
is just something that I've always been adamant about. I've always been like it always piqued my interest, the preparation for preparing for people
Right.
in different teams. So, and being able to break people's game down. Again, I've been spoiled to no end with the mentors and people I've had at a high level that play the game. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, it's one of those things that, it is what it is.
My guy, I think that's cute. He asked, do you think it could be a lack of media coverage on a national level that kind of deter kids from doing the HBCUs and stuff like that?
Well, like, they don't know what it has to offer. So, like, so speaking of national media, like, it really bothered me when Josh Christopher did the
Oh
whole
man,
Howard thing, and it wasn't serious.
nah.
It really wasn't serious. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to my man Mike Sullivan, who it's funny, he was one of the early supporters of Basketball Illustrated Reports.
Mm-hmm.
I got to add you to this group on Facebook. It was called NYC Q&A, and
Mm-hmm.
always been encouraging. My man had his ups and downs, but as a man, like a real man, he's pulled himself up, and he's done what he's had to do, or he's due. Whatever, I said that wrong. It sounds crazy, but as a good brother, real talk, like he's done everything he's had to do for his kids and his family to make right and make peace with a lot of people. But to his point, we had this conversation that, like, for Monty Bates, Jalen Duran, Keontae George, Zion Cruz, and a kid like Bryce Griggs to all go, whether it's Hampton, whether it's NC Central with Coach Moten, whether it's any black school for that matter. You know what I'm saying? Like my man Maurice Williams at Alabama State, shout out to him. Like they will still go pro.
Right.
They will still go pro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I encourage anybody, if everybody is following this, if you haven't watched the documentary on this quarantine, pull up Black Magic. Parts 1 and 2. Black Magic tells you a real story on how they really felt about us. And how guys like Pee Wee Kirkland and Earl of Pearl and those guys made their way through the black college circuit and still pros. You know, look at, if we're all about the meaning of a lot of things, then people need to look at, you know, Adolph Rupp. What he stood for.
Word.
Ask yourself and say, do you really want to go to that blue blood?
And play in that arena. It's so
want to do that?
It's so crazy that you touched that, right? I watched the interview with Moten Lavelle. I really like Lavelle Moten. So I watched the interview. He said he was getting a lot of slack because he offered Bronny a scholarship or whatever. And he was just saying how he thought it was weird that people was giving him slack for offering a black kid to a black university. And he touched on, like, we send our kids, like, he went on a little rant for a minute, but he said he was like, I'm gonna bring it back. But one of the things that he touched on is that we send kids to play college basketball at certain universities who the arenas are like named after slave owners or people who believed in, you know what I'm saying, craziness. You know what I mean? So I was like, wow. You know what I mean? And it bugged me out because you know, at my age, I never really looked at that. Like, you know, we send the kids to Ole Miss. You know what I mean? We send the kids to playing anywhere down south. All these schools here, you know, Kentucky, you know, Rump Arena. It's just weird. I'm like, damn, I never thought about that. Not one time, you know. Not but
it's all it's going to take. It's going to take, while they're going to be viewed as militant and they're this and they're that, but all it's going to take is one set of parents that they're going to say that. And they're going to be like, nah, we're not doing that. Or like, you know what? I'm going to come to Ole Miss when y'all take that rebel down.
Word.
Take that Confederate flag down.
Because they can do it. The kids have the power. The parents have that power. Because I was watching something on Michael Jordan's son when he went to Central Florida. They was at a Nike school.
Come on.
And he told the coach, I forgot my guy's name. I think he's at Georgia Tech. Like, yo, I'm not wearing nothing but Nike. Yeah, I'm not wearing nothing but Nike.
Get up out of here. And what the whole program do? They've been Nike ever since.
Word.
Nike ever since.
Ever
you know what I'm
since,
saying?
Yo.
So it's one of those things like people just, again, they have to understand the leverage and the power that they have, and they have to stand on it. They just can't do it out of convenience. They can't do it they got to do it out of, it's going to make some people uncomfortable. You know, I always point out, and I see this all the time, when racial injustices happen in our community, go to basketball Twitter and tell me how many people that don't look like me and you have that conversation.
Right.
That's when it's going to change.
And then somebody asked about facilities at the HBCUs.
Yeah, that's my man Dion. He said, where HBCUs can compete based on facilities alone. Well,
none, probably.
If we keeping it a stack, to answer your question, none.
None,
The University of Texas is one of the top 5 money-generating programs in the country. How much did the facilities matter to Kevin Durant that he couldn't lift 185 pounds?
Right.
Facilities don't matter. Like somebody's name and the likeness, which you can generate for someone to stay home and then bring that generated money to that program, that goes a long way. That'll go a super long way.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
I have to stop harping, because I'm not going to lie to you. Not one time in my year at Hampton did I care about the facilities. I didn't, like, it was expected. Like, we played Carolina, we played NC State, we played ODU when they had Cal Ballard, and I think God bless the dead, Coach Capel was even coaching at that time.
He was.
I didn't think about. I wanted to play. I didn't care about the facilities because at the end of the day, and I never forget, Vince Carter was talking reckless to Torrey Farrington.
And Torrey went crazy. We all went to that. We went to that.
Look, excuse my language, no disrespect. I love and I respect all women. So please, my choice of words, what I say is just an actual quote. It's not how I feel about women. So Torrey's going crazy. And Vince was like, Hampton, where's Hampton at? What y'all got? And I kid you not, in the same stride, Torrey was like, we got bitches though.
Right.
And I promise you, Vince was like, yeah, I heard. So I think it's to be honest with you, I think all black colleges, they just have to use the resources that they have. So case in point, we all know Howard has, without question, probably the craziest homecoming.
Definitely.
Like if the same efforts and the energies that are put at PWIs are put into black colleges, like you'll get more recruits.
Yeah.
Like a good brother of mine, he's from New York. Mike Boynton is the head coach at Oklahoma State. He said in his first day conversation with T. Boone Pickens, and if anybody doesn't know who T. Boone is, look him up. He was one of the wealthiest boosters involved with a university in the country. He loved Oklahoma State. He, again, from when he was to when he started making money till he died, he loved Oklahoma State. And Mike said he had a conversation with him. The man said, yo, walk around campus, tell me what you need. So Mike goes around, and I'm talking about small stuff because, I mean, Oklahoma State, Power 5 school, they have a bunch of stuff. Mike comes back, he tells him all the small things. He's not expecting anything at all. He turns around, pulls out his checkbook, and he writes a check for $117 million. On the spot.
That's crazy.
For the basketball program. But then here's the challenge I give somewhere like Howard. Howard, you like literally need to hire someone in a media relations, some department that the basketball program has a direct conversation with Diddy. They have a direct conversation with Anthony Anderson. They have a direct conversation with Taraji P. Henson. They have a direct conversation with many of the big donors that are Howard alum, and they allow much of that funding to go to Howard.
Right.
So now, instead of flying, whether it's American or United Airlines out of D.C., Howard is chartering planes.
Right.
Like that changes the whole dynamic. Now, they getting out of that funky Under Armour, and they find somebody at Nike or Adidas, and they get a better deal, and they're getting the elite package of what they have. Like, that's how the narrative gets a chance to change. But if you don't do that, you can't.
Right.
But shifting the culture, as someone mentioned, it's on the players. It ain't necessarily the school.
Right.
You have to get over, like, we all know Zion was 300-some pounds at Duke. Did the facilities matter that he never got down to 250? No.
Yeah.
It didn't. That kid was on campus 8 months. He got up out of there. So it's like we just have to apply the same rules of what it is to our kids and to have trust in the certain people to take care of our kids. But again, Kevin Durant could have went to Morgan. Could have went to Coppin.
He was going to go to the league. Yeah, he was going to go to the league. Yeah, he was going to go to the league, no matter what he wanted.
And I think a lot of people be forgetting that, and a lot of people don't be understanding that. So,
but it's weird though.
How much time we got? Because I know you said it's a timer.
No, it's still 20 minutes because we ain't been up here another hour yet.
Yeah, I'm about to say if anybody had any questions.
I'm about to say y'all could jump in with the questions too. But you know what? With the facilities thing that people always go to with the HBCUs, it's a legitimate question. But you're right though, because I've been to a lot of college campuses or whatever, and they show us the facilities, like the coaches and stuff. Like I think that impresses the older people more than it does the kids. Bro.
Let me tell you something. My freshman year, if you showing me. And again, it's knowing your prospect. It's knowing what they're into. So if they're into sports, okay, you make that visit heavy on sports. But again, you got the young recruit. He got the 2 earrings in his ear. He got whether it's the fake or real chain. He got one of the Balenciagas. Yo, listen, I'm going on campus. I'm
Mm-hmm.
finding that Lauren Jones. I'm finding that Raven Austin. I'm finding those baddies that I had my freshman year.
Yeah.
That like, yo, like take them to the frat party, take them to whatever
Mm-hmm.
party. We had DJ Envy.
Yes, in my
Back
dorm.
then, he was on campus at Hampton. Like I'm giving them that experience because what black colleges have to do, they have to get creative in understanding that we don't have the money and resources to take them, you know, to Roof Chris. We don't.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the money to take them to Prime 112, Ocean
Right.
Air, all the great restaurants that we all may enjoy. We got to
Mm-hmm.
find a way to like, yo, make this experience for the kid. Because my thing is, to all black colleges, I would
Mm-hmm.
make my biggest recruiting weekend those homecoming weekends.
Yeah. And I
It's
think Howard
I
did
got
that
the
this
most kids
year.
on campus then.
I think Howard, when they had I don't know if it was the Maker kid. I think Maker went on homecoming. Either him or Josh went on homecoming.
No, Josh didn't go on homecoming. Maker did.
Maker went on homecoming, and then
Yeah.
Buck does that a lot. Buck has a lot of recruits come out on homecoming because I see the guys, like one of my guys, Jermaine Merrill, that was a real good over there at Hampton. I seen him host a couple of guys that I know, like during homecoming. You know what I mean?
So let's add to it though.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have to me, involve the coach. If it's a big weekend for Buck at Hampton,
Mm-hmm.
then we have to involve Buck in the process.
Mm-hmm.
So involving Buck in the process is saying, Buck, who are the kids listening to? Who do we need to get on campus?
Mm-hmm.
Who do we need to get this kid pictures with?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and again, to me, that would be a job that if it's part of the fundraising department,
Right.
whatever it is, like I'm gonna find a job like for my man Dion Jones, who's well respected in the music industry. Like I know he can get certain artists. Yo, how much it's gonna cost? Okay, what we got to play with? How much can we generate? Yo, let's get this done. Let's get as many recruits as we can get on campus. Let's get them on stage. Like we have, because we all know kids are impressionable kids and they're emotional. So we need them to feel a way about their visit at particular schools, whether it's Central, whether it's Shaw, any of those schools. Like we have to find a way to play off that emotion to have when they're leaving campus Sunday, they got their edit done for Monday, Tuesday. Yo, coach, I'm coming.
Right.
I'm coming.
Mm-hmm.
But you know that's a conversation for another time. But
yeah,
I'm all open for it, and it's just one of those things that, I mean, it could be done. But I think our people just have to stop being like, because let's be clear, ladies and gentlemen, people just went to jail for nothing.
For nothing.
That whole recruiting scheme,
for
like
basketball,
people are not, putting their careers on the line for these kids. So the first thing that people truly need to understand, everybody's not getting a bag. Whatever that is, whatever that means. Everyone is not doing that.
Right.
So like people have to get out their mind that, yo, I'm getting a bag. Man, I'm going to VMI. VMI is not giving you a bag. I do, Audie. I spoke on how Steve Murfield, he came to the Boys and Girls Club on 21st Street in Long Island City. That's a fact.
Word.
Gym out for me. And him and Richard Morgan. Richard Morgan, I played at UVA. Steve Murfield came and they signed me on the spot. That's a fact.
I remember Murfield. Murfield was in it to get, you know what I'm saying? He was in the mix. I remember Murfield.
Yeah,
he was in the mix.
It's crazy too, because he's up at Creighton now.
And
Terrence Rencher, who, Terrence is a New York City legend. And I have not spoken to him since I left.
Wow.
And I told him, I said, yo, you know what? Like, dudes is grown now. Dudes is, like, I got kids.
Kids and all.
Like, I do want to sit down and just rap with him, because he was a young coach at the time. That was his first job, and I was a wide-eyed, bushy freshman, and it was a different year. Like I said, it was a transition. Wasn't playing. I did lose my grandfather that year. Like, it was a lot going on, so I might have made an emotional decision, but I think overall I felt good with it because I graduated. I graduated from college, so at the end of the day, I can't be mad about that. If I was running around without a degree, be one thing, but I don't have any regrets. I mean, I did what I did, but I would love to rap with him because I don't hold anything against him because I mean that's long gone and over with now. So.
Yeah, it was weird when I saw him like when he got the job out there. It was like one of my first times seeing a white coach out of HBCU. I mean, I'm sure it's happened in the past too, but before him, but I was going to Hampton at the time, so that's why I was like, man, this is
Well,
something
you know
different
what's
right
crazy too? He might be the first one to win an NCAA tournament game.
here.
He might be that. He might be that Snapple fact. So, somebody asked about a G League question.
Yeah, I see that. There's a couple of questions that I skipped in this one. I was gonna go back up. My man Morris was saying a lot of HBCUs have a self-esteem problem. Instead of thinking they could come here, we need to show them why they need to be there. I can see that.
That's true. And again, though, I think that's the disconnect between administration and probably your athletic department. You know what I'm saying? Because don't get me wrong, too. That weekend shouldn't just be a basketball weekend. I mean, it is homecoming football. So at the
Right.
end of the day, that should be a huge weekend. You know, Coach Taylor was a coach at Hampton when I was there. So you're talking about that's got to be a huge weekend for them, too.
Because there was a good football team. The football program was good. So
no question. Matter of fact, I want to say my man, his name was it Cordell Taylor, I think?
Cordell went to the league.
That's
Cordell Taylor, yeah,
right.
that's my dude.
I remember he posted, true story, I remember he posted like the third fastest 40 time.
Word.
Behind Randy Moss and Charles Woodson.
Yeah, he was with Jacksonville for a minute. Cordell was a good, humble guy, too.
Yep.
No bull. There's been a lot of guys from Hampton to do it because Hampton was one of those schools that got a lot of, like, I guess they used to call them back then D1 rejects. They used to get in trouble and then come back down or whatever. So,
and I want to say, I think that another reason why it works for football, why you see top 10 guys in the NFL, which I think last year's draft happened, if not this year, but like you see black college football players go because they see it. Like I think because our youth don't see it happening. Like in our era, you had Lindsey Hunter.
Yeah.
Top 10 pick out of Jackson State.
Justin Moran.
You had when I was in the MEAC, you had Jerome James.
You
know what I'm saying? Like these are guys that were in the MEAC that made it to the NBA. Like that's huge. So when you see that, it's like, yo, I'm going there too. So on the MEAC side and the SWAC side of football, because you see guys make it, guys like, oh, yo, I'm going to Grambling.
Yeah.
I'm going to Southern. I'm going, to Dillard. I'm going to FAMU. I'm going to Bethune. Like, they'll do it. Whereas in basketball, it's just different.
Yeah, and Grambling wasn't losing. Grambling at one time down there wasn't losing any games at one time. And Joe Taylor, you know what I'm saying? Joe Taylor did a real good job with recruiting and getting a lot of guys. He got guys coming from UVA, that got, get in trouble there, second chance, come there and end up being guys or whatever. So that's a big topic, and it has a lot of layers, you know what I mean, that you gotta peel back to kind of figure out some of those issues. He said, somebody said, I believe offering kids $50K out of high school is a very bad idea. They're missing out on developing their game and missing out on the college experience.
So Sully, and with that being said, and that's one of us did something.
Can you hear me now? I'm gonna change it. I'm back. I had said it down. I think it might have been me.
That was you.
Yeah.
Ain't no echo now. So that's my man, Mike Sully. Sully, like, I hear your sentiment, but what's unfortunate about that is the fact that, but why are we governing only basketball?
Word.
Like there are people in other walks of life that, if your child, your son or daughter, or my sons, if they become really good hackers, and Google wants to hire them the 10th grade in high school,
they're gonna do it.
No one is gonna bat an eye. But it's just amazing how many, when it comes to like the sports that we dominate, it's always a governing.
Right.
I don't get that. Like, why is there always questions? Because what people and I've worked closely with Sharif as well as Rod with that G League initiative. I see people talking about it.
Yeah.
People are forgetting that you can go that route. They're gonna pay you. If it does not work, even the NBA, they're going to pay for you to go to college.
Yeah.
So again, the NBA is not for everybody. Cool. But I can't see it being an issue where if you getting five, and let me be clear too, everyone is not getting 500.
Yeah. You see, Chris is
in.
We got Chris in from Cali.
What Jalen Green got, what Deshaun Nix and with my man from
Who else is
he was in Virginia too for a minute. He was in Richmond. Isaiah Todd. All three of those
Isaiah
guys,
Todd, yeah, from Carolina.
They're getting different salaries. So be clear. You know what I'm saying? Like Jalen's became public, but everybody's is different. So everyone is not getting the same amount. But with that being said, like I don't see anything wrong with it. And I'll be clear, I'll tell y'all on this feed right now. Please do not expect all three of those guys to go 1, 2, and 3 in next year's draft, all going to 10. They, for the sake of the program, you can almost guarantee everyone is going to be taken in a different space.
Yeah.
Don't know who. Not saying it's rigged, but someone is probably going to go in the lottery. Somebody's going to go mid-first round, and somebody might go in the second round. It is. It is what it is because when they probably would have went to college, we don't know where they would have went.
Right.
So I already going to see the first, oh, man, he should have went to college. No. Like, because no college was going to give him $500,000. So
you were, and then, and like Chris said, I don't think a lot of those guys was going to be in college that long anyway, though.
Exactly.
To get
so if you telling me that they've committed to a program that's saying that once I'm done, so that means I can go overseas, but once I'm done, that you're gonna pay for me to go to school? Oh, come on, let's do it.
Yeah, and I think that part that you're touching on right now, Dain, I think a lot of people don't know that yet. Actually, about that they're going to give them the school situation too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I don't, because a lot that doesn't get touched on a lot. I think a lot of people focus on the dollar amount that they're hearing that the people are hearing and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they don't know about the other portion of the whole thing about it, the whole whole situation pretty much. And then like my man Fresh is saying, baseball allows you to go pro out of high school. You can sign and go back to go to college for 3 years. It's just, I just think it was a dynamic of, I hate, using the race dynamic a lot, but I just think that has a lot to do with it.
I mean, people don't know this part about hockey. In hockey, they allow you to have an agent.
Yeah.
Now think about that for a second. Like you want a real spicy 30 for 30? They need to lay out real talk. They need to lay out why do the rules vary in these sports? Just why? Like a simple why question. Like someone help me understand why a baseball player is allowed to get drafted, have money on the table, even pinch off the money, then say, you know what, I'm gonna
go to school. Yeah, they could definitely do that.
Roger Clemens did do that. The great Roger Clemens, regardless how you view him, how you see him, Roger Clemens got drafted out of high school, went to Texas, found a way to get out of that, and then still got to the, like, come on, man. So it's like these are the questions that need to be asked.
And like I said, it's a lot of people don't want to say it, but I just think it was because of the race dynamic has a lot to do with it. You know what I mean?
100%.
So
because my thing is, if it didn't have a dynamic, then why can't you do it?
Right.
Because that's the first thing people say. Oh, nah. Well, why is everything a race? Because it is. Like,
because it is.
We don't set the rules. Like,
right, because it is. We didn't create that. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta go through it. We fight through it, but we didn't create that. So of course it's gonna be there. Like, it's kind of weird.
People say it's race. Again, bringing it back, unfortunately, God bless, you know what I'm saying? George Lloyd, but like I've never seen a Caucasian person, get killed on camera saying they couldn't breathe. I've never seen a Caucasian young man be shot because he was playing with a toy gun on a playground. I've never seen a Caucasian man panhandling cigarettes and he get killed and he couldn't breathe. So you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't make the dynamic of why it's about race, but it's one of them situations where it exists. And again, like I said earlier, when people always say, well, it makes them uncomfortable, that's when you need to talk about it.
Right.
That's when it needs to be talked about, because like that uncomfortable feel, as I was always taught, to get comfortable, you have to be uncomfortable. So you have to take being uncomfortable and make that comfortable. You have to make it a conversation. You have to make it, well, why do you think that way? Why do you feel that way? And I think enough people don't do that. Like they don't want to talk about it. That's just like our old timers when, you had that one uncle that was sugary. Like they don't want to talk about him. Well, why not? Let's talk about it. Like why is it this way? Or, this one was touched, or this one was special, or like, what happened? What happened? And a lot of times you don't get them combos until we old and gray.
Right.
You know, our elders on their deathbed. Now they want to open up and talk about it. It was like, well, wait a minute. I wouldn't have had my child around this person if you would have told me they was
If you would
moving
have
like
told me
that.
all that, yeah, if you would
Yeah,
have told me that a
exactly.
long
Like,
time
come
ago.
on. Like, so I think it's one of those situations of conversations that often people don't like to have.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta have the conversation.
So with that with the G League initiative, so I see a lot of people are interested in that. Like, so do you think it's gonna? You think a lot of kids are going to try to do that, go that route, like a lot of our
So let's
top
be
kids?
clear. This is not about people trying. You have to be selected.
Okay, that's a selection. Okay,
It's a G League initiative.
Mm-hmm.
It's headed by Rod Strickland with
Yeah.
support from Sharif Abdul Rahim.
Mm-hmm.
Rod himself. I mean, what I really appreciate about that program, which by the way, how much time we got left?
Oh, it ain't giving me nothing yet. We good still.
Oh, okay. I think the best thing about their scouting group with the NBA
Mm-hmm.
is that it's NBA guys.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Rod, who was a 16-year pro. It's Andre
Oh,
Barrett,
yeah.
who was like a 6-7-year pro. It's Cherokee Parks, who was like a
Mm.
10-year pro. So they know what's going to work in the NBA.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
talked to
some,
Rod Strickland a lot in Dallas, and
like
we
Rod is
touched
a
on
great
it a
dude.
little bit.
It's not a guys who are fans, because you don't, bro. You would be amazed how many guys in this industry, well known, not well known, but they're only doing it because they're fans.
Yeah.
They don't have a true passion. If they
Mm-hmm.
wasn't getting paid, they wouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's part of my story that, like, I often tell as well. Like, bro, my first year in starting BR, I didn't get paid.
Word. I saw you say that.
Not because not because I didn't do good work. I missed the deadline to get paid. So now I'm at a crossroads where it's like, yo, do I just stop until next year, or do I build my name and reputation amongst these coaches,
right,
of what I'm writing and what I'm doing, and making them understand that I'm sincere about this? Because I think a lot of guys get into the recruiting service or scouting industry service under the wrong pretense. Yeah, and the money's gonna come. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't chase. You know, I learned that from a lot of my old timers. You know, like, don't chase the women.
Yeah.
Don't chase the streets. Because granted, if you hoop and you can put that ball in the basket, and when people scream your name, all that come with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Why chase something that if you do something else, all of that comes with it?
It's going to come with it anyway.
Exactly. So that's one thing I think in The Last Dance that was so underrated that Michael Jordan said. And I never saw nobody quote it. I didn't see anybody post the clip. But he was talking about when his shoe deal came and his ability, he said, yo, my game was my marketing.
Yeah, he definitely said that.
I was with a super team in Nike basketball 100%. But Mike's game, if Mike wasn't averaging 37, we
wouldn't be going crazy for the Jordans. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because people still buying Jordans right now.
Listen, that man was the baddest thing moving. He was the baddest thing moving. So like you wanted to be like him, you wanted to shoot, so all of that took care of itself. But if Mike was trash, if Mike was, you know, Michael Olowokandi, if he was, you know, Boom J trash, like, come on, son. Like, Mike wouldn't have been able to move them units, but because of who he was, please, like, all of that took care of itself. And no disrespect to Boom J, and those guys.
Nah, I remember Boom J. But I'm gonna take it back to some more about you too right now, because we, you know, this has been real good. I one of my people that was in here, I think she's still in here. She was helping me come up with, you know, some questions for you and stuff like that. But it's been better going like this, though, to be honest with you. But no, I do want to touch back on some of the other stuff that you do with the camps and all that, and like your plan and preparation. You know, going into selecting kids for camps, and like, does the committee come to like, you know, consistency when y'all are evaluating talent and stuff like that? You know, when you're looking for kids, do you take it to the table?
So like MBPA, I mean, again, John Lucas is the final say, but it's a committee that consists of myself, legendary older scouts like Frank Burleson, Van Coleman, Clark Francis. And I think John has done a job of not only just blending some youth, but he's blended some color in there, and he's added guys. Jim Hicks was on as well, who's a guy who's been doing it in the Houston area for 20 years. But Horace Naismith, Darnell Tate Johnson out of depending on what Darnell likes to claim, whether it's Louisville or whether it's Charlotte. But Tate is my man. Tate is from everywhere. But he takes stuff from us year round. He compiles it. And then he starts shaving. Some names that are consistent, it speaks for itself. So it helps the process. But as we all evaluate guys around the country, sometimes, weird names will come out of nowhere. He'll ask, have I seen them, or if anybody in the committee has seen them? And he wants their take on them. Of course, it's the NBPA. It's the, National Basketball Players Association's camp. So in having foreshadowing, some type of foreshadowing ability, they like to see guys who have the potential to be pros. Again, like I said, this is not everyone's going to be allowed to go. That does not mean, at the same time, that doesn't mean if you don't go, you won't be a pro.
Right.
That's not the case either, because there's a large group of guys that are.
Yeah, it's only taking 100 kids. So I mean.
Right, exactly. Again, the top 20 at each position.
Right.
So if you're not a top 20 point guard, and that's freshmen, sophomore, juniors. If you're not a top 20 shooting guard, freshmen, sophomore, juniors, like just be real with yourself. Now, granted, that what people also forget, in that 100, there are about 15 to 20 legacy kids. And legacy kids are, kids whose parents played in the league.
Okay.
So are they going to have preference? Sure. I mean, LeBron has been playing union dudes for 17 years.
Right.
If his son wasn't up to par, but he wanted him to go, which his son is very talented, but if his son wasn't on par, you think LeBron James' son ain't gonna come? Of course,
right. Or like a D Wade with his son.
It's even. So then now to the point now that 20 is even smaller.
Yeah.
It's even smaller now. So it's probably like top 15. So they try to keep the camp exclusive. Things come up. Do they change? Sure. Do local guys
that's a heavy one.
Chance? I just saw something too.
You saw that question? That's what helps you. That's a heavy one right there. How important is the circuit you play on to help make that top 20?
Nothing crazy, because like prime example, Deshaun Nix came to camp last year. He didn't play on anybody's circuit. But I think like let's not, the exception is not the norm. Miss Love _ Sabi. I guess that's how she was.
Shonda B. Yeah. She's a high school legend in the area in a state champ this year. She won a state championship this year.
Well, congratulations to her. It's not the end all be all, but you better be really good. You better be really good, because have we had guys outside of circus? Even I give you another one like Zaire Williams, who just committed to Stanford a couple of weeks ago, McDonald American, 6'9" do it all forward. He came last year. He came as a rising junior. He wasn't on any one circuit.
Right.
So, no, I mean, it's not the end all be all. Can it happen? Yes. Is it probably harder? Probably so, because it really takes someone finding someone and really taking a liking to their game and want to see them against the best players in the country.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, I figured that. Zaire ain't play. Where did he do last year? He didn't play.
No. So last year he played with the Oakland Soldiers, but he came to NBA camp when he was a rising junior.
Yeah, so it's sophomore season.
At that time, he was playing with BTI at the time, and they wasn't.
Oh,
it's an academic program out on the West Coast. My man's name is escaping me right now, but he does a phenomenal job with his guys. And Zaire, he stuck out to a lot of our West Coast guys, but we've definitely had I'm trying to think of some more guys that weren't on a circuit.
So Dain, it's down to a minute. I want you to give me 3 gems for parents with the scouting service that just 3 quick gems before that minute run out.
Well, parents, number 1, you should never pay anyone to talk about your child. Plain and simple. Like, ladies, keep your legs closed. Like, real talk. Like, I don't care how good you think your poontang is. It's not going to matter. If little Johnny can't play, he can't play. So it really does not matter what you do, how you do it. Don't let nobody string you along. Just keep your legs closed. It doesn't matter. And the third one, no one is hating on your child. Like, it's just someone's opinion. Don't look at the messenger. Look at the message. Don't look at what he's saying. He don't like my son can your son use his left hand?
Right.
Can he use it? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? In any evaluation, like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, look at what's being said. Don't look at the person.
Mm.
Look at
Hey,
what's being said.
it's gonna cut us off, bro. It's gonna cut us
I
off.
mean, what you want to do is up to you. I ain't
I
got
could
nothing
come
to tell
back. Can you come back?
you. Yeah, man, we in a quarantine. Where we going?
Right. It's gonna hang up. We're gonna come right back.